Hey Wanderers, it's Caitlin. We just want to thank you so much for listening. We love doing these episodes and we love hearing from listeners. So if you haven't already, be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts and tell a friend about us, because everyone needs more bone axes and kissing in their life. You know, I meant those things to be disparate, and now they sound like they go together, which I did not intend. So we're going to skip to the reason for this announcement, which is to let you know we'll be taking a week off between systems. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new Outlaws Wanted episode, so get excited to go to space. And also get excited for Jyla's bombs. Anyway, thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Naptown, the city that always sleeps. Most people think nothing happens in this town that is halfway between nothing and nowhere, but they would be wrong. There is plenty that goes on in this town for those willing to look. With the mission completed, the crew now has some downtime on their hands to wrap up matters in their personal lives. There are some messes that need to be cleaned up, other relationships that need to be repaired, and some bonds to be strengthened. Regardless of the outcome, relationships always seem to be tricky in this city that always sleeps.
So, last time we left off, you guys had successfully solved the mystery of the Rose Martini.
We solved your Rose Martini puzzle.
You did. You captured both Lillian and Martha and depowered them both. So, we are back to our bottle episode interludes, where our investigators get to spend some downtime between their cases. Darling, how are you?
Doing pretty good. I have a lot of stuff to work on here.
You volunteered to go first, so it is a couple days after the case has ended, wrapped up, nothing super long. When you are walking out of your building on a Wednesday, is that when that your day off?
One of the days, yeah.
When a very familiar car pulls up next to you. Hey, babe, get in, let's go.
Darling just keeps walking.
So he does that creepy thing, like hanging out the window, like trying to talk to you. Come on, darling, why are you being like this? You know we're a thing. We know we don't mean our arguments, and we're always going to get back together. We're destined to be with each other.
Gideon, I don't think you heard me this last time. When I said we were done, I meant we were done. And she stops and turns to him.
You say that every time we're done. And then I come back and we repair things and it's great. So, hop in the car, we're going on a date.
I'm not getting in the car with you.
So this continues on for a couple minutes with him just completely ignoring everything you're saying, how you're not together. So can you make me a roll of your stop holding back? Because you said you wanted to do that.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not deciding this for her, everybody. She said
this was discussed before.
She definitely wanted to do this, where to get rid of him, it would take something big. I'm going to say this is a no return kind of thing. So on a 7 to 9, replace one theme. On a 10 plus, mark fade, crack, and burn all the power tags on one theme.
Okay.
So roll plus logos.
Oh, plus logos.
Yeah, so you just roll plus logos. So you don't get to. So you're everyone right now in our group is rolling +2 if you do a stop holding back.
Got it.
So what'd you get?
I got a 12.
All right, so you'll mark a crack on a theme, which I think still flips you.
Yeah, that does flip me.
It starts out you're just like arguing with him in a normal way.
So what happens is like Gideon keeps like his mythos never comes out, but he just keeps berating her and telling her that she's just wrong and to obviously get back in the car. And I think at some point she just stops talking and you see her, you see like a pink aura kind of start almost like emitting from her to make like a nice glow. And she walks towards the car and he like leans back into the driver's seat and she leans on the door like she's in the window leaning into the car. And she says, Gideon, when I said I was done, I meant that I was done. And like her eyes have like changed in a way that you can't really describe. Like it's very intimidating.
Excellent for an audio podcast.
Yes. Well, but I think that's like, it's not that the color changed. It's not that the eyes dilated. It's like creepy. Whatever is happening, like you can't discern it just by like it's almost like he can't focus on what is making the change. And before she backs away, a voice that is not her own says, "It's time to leave." And then she backs up, and it's like very clearly her rift coming out.
So Gideon very quickly leaves after that extreme show of force.
Tires squealing on the pavement.
And he seems like he's not coming back and is finally listening to Darling's wants.
Woo! Finally. That is going to make Darling have 3 mythos, and I will work on that later.
And then whenever something flips, what flips becomes a nemesis. So we've talked a little bit about what you're flipping and stuff. So your new nemesis is Gideon. So that's fun.
Yay!
Instead of being an ally, he is now someone who is a thorn in your side.
Sounds good.
I mean, it sounds like who's kind of already that already.
It was willingly
Now
placed
it's official.
And the other thing is, like, Gideon still does work for the Order, so he's not going to be, like, sabotaging you that way, but he can come back in a nemesis capacity. Time will tell. Another thing that you wanted to do, since we're on you, Darling, right now, is you said you wanted to have it where you change around one of your power tags, if I'm correct?
Yes. So, my Gossip Guru, which is my only Logos now, that got 3 attentions throughout this arc. So that is going to upgrade. And the narrative version of that I'm going to do is I would like to upgrade the Jazz Hall singer to be a recording artist. And that's more of a narrative thing. Like her schedule is going to become a lot more flexible. And you and I can determine exactly what that's going to be, because I think she does still work at the Jazz Hall, but just also has a little more flexibility because she's not always there. She's now earning money in another capacity. But the mechanical way that is going to improve is the theme is I'm going to take the theme improvement all in a day's work. Once per scene, if you are in the middle of your routine and you make a core move as part of your routine, you can choose to make it dynamite.
Nice. Moving away from our lovely Lady Darling, we're going to move on to our lovely man, Seamus.
We haven't really done much with this yet. I guess we did a little bit in the last arc, but Seamus was former military and is currently in the reserves. And every so often, he has to go to some training, some basic training just to keep his skills up in case he's ever called upon, like in case there's a war in 20 years or so. And so he is doing that.
So you arrive on your first day going to training. It's still in the city. There's bases around the city where you can go in to keep your reserves up. And as you walk in, for what for you is a rather relaxing experience, like getting the muscle memory, doing the training. It is hard work, but mentally it's very relaxing for Seamus. You know, it's very purpose driven. He likes it. You hear a voice behind you. Ah, Seamus, you're here too? What a great surprise.
Remind me this character's name again.
His name is Leon.
Oh, hey, Leon. How's it going?
It's going. It's better now that you're here. We get to spend all. Are you doing basic training upkeep?
Yep. Yeah. Gotta keep my skills sharp.
You're not gonna believe this, but I'm leading that today.
Hooray!
I know. Sarcastic. I thought you liked him.
It is good to see you, Leon. It's been a while. Actually, at this point, it's been like
a week.
A week.
I would say you didn't have time to catch up, but you really did. He told you way too much.
Yeah. So, what's on the docket today, Leon?
He lists a lot of like the it's kind of like those exercises that like people don't like, but they're like, these are the best exercises for you, but like everyone's like, these suck. I hate all of them.
So we're planking.
Yeah, planking, like lots of planking, lots of
wall sits.
Those things where you run back and forth in the gym.
Oh, suicides.
Yeah, like those, like that kind of stuff where it's just like you're like, it's all good for you, but everyone hates it. And he's like, this will be a great day the whole time. So you have a very exhausting day, both a little bit mentally and a little bit physically, or very physically and a little bit mentally, as Leon continues to fill you in about all these asinine stories and a lot of stories about Gideon, that you're just like, I don't need to know about him anymore. And he's like, oh, but this is a great story. It was never a great story. Is there anything you'd like out of this scene?
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure exactly what all to do in the scene. I just kind of had that idea to start the scene, but I hadn't really thought through any details.
I don't have anything like specific, but I do say like you do catch up with some of your old squad, and it's not just being annoyed by Leon all day. You do get to hang out with some people that you were actually close to in the military. Because Leon was always like a peripheral person, friend of a friend.
Yeah.
But he was very like always happy to see, he's happy to see basically anyone in the unit. And, you're able to pawn him off at points easily enough. Like, oh, look, who's that? And he's like, oh, Patrick, I haven't seen you in years. And, it's been a week for Patrick too. But you're able to catch up with some of your military buddies and see how they're doing. They're adjusting to city life. Seamus, being kind of a private investigator of sorts, tries to pry a little bit into them and doesn't get the feeling that any of them are really rifts at this point. They're very much a connection to the normal, and that in a lot of ways is peaceful.
To not have to deal with the weird at the moment. Yeah, and that's another thing is I guess I could interject there, is that during all this training, Seamus makes a point to not rely on his mythos, as much as possible. He's wanting to only, improve his normal physical self.
Makes sense. Keep him sharp so that the mythos is even better.
Well, and so it doesn't become a crutch for you.
Right.
I think, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So, Tanner, how's life being a private detective again?
So, Tanner is sitting alone at 2 in the morning in a 24-hour cafe. It's just kind of raining outside. And he has just a bunch of folders open in front of him and a cup of quickly cooling coffee. And he's holding a pen and just staring. And Runa's sitting across from him with her feet kind of dangling off of a booth.
Can we get eggs?
Yeah, I don't know. It's 2 in the morning. Don't you feel like 2 in the morning is more like pie time, not eggs time?
They say you can make any type of eggs. I would like hard-boiled.
Why would you want a hard-boiled egg specifically?
They're the best.
Yeah, okay. So, Runa, what are you doing here? I don't mean in the diner we're getting eggs. I understand that now. But I mean, why are you here with me?
Now you're asking the questions I'm asking. I'm supposed to be asking. Why are you here? What are you doing?
I guess I'm getting eggs and solving... I don't know. I think this is embezzlement. It's kind of starting to run together a little bit.
I mean, but why are you doing that?
Well, Runa, that is a decent question. I think I like finding truth. I'm not going to say I don't appreciate that.
Is this really truth? I mean, I think you know the truth that people are bad.
Well, I wouldn't say people are bad, Runa. That's pretty harsh. I'm a people. You're a people. Rude.
I mean, you did punch someone's face in last time.
Well, look, all right? I'm a person that has bone axes sprout from his arm.
A slightly heavyset woman comes over right now, and she has the thing of coffee. Can I get you another cup?
Yeah, one more cup of coffee, and then I'll have a slice of apple pie, and then she'll have, and he gestures across the table at Runa, and she'll have a hard-boiled egg because she's 10, I guess.
The waitress looks over to the empty booth seat, back at you, and backs away slowly.
No, I do want the more coffee too. Oh, whatever. I'll just drink it cold. Don't worry about it. Yeah, well, my point is, I started having powers manifest, which is great because now I can get people to tell me the truth. But I also sprout a bone axe and can't seem to get hurt. So I'm just saying, you grow a hammer out of your hand, everything starts looking like nails.
I mean, I feel like that's fair, but I feel like there's more that you could unlock, and you could do other things other than just punching people in the face. I mean, you said you're good people. What are you doing that makes you good people?
What am I doing that makes me good people? Occasionally, I stop people with superpowers from, I don't know, turning half the world into zombies. That's what I do that makes me good people. That, and I tell people that their, significant others are cheating on them and their business partners are stealing money. That's mostly what I do, though. That's 90% of the time. The other 10% is meaningful. 90%, what I'm doing now. Talking to... Could she not see you?
What are you talking about?
The waitress. Could she not see you?
I don't know. Can she not? I'm just talking to you. I don't care if she can see me. I care if you can see me.
Are you haunting me?
No, you're my... I mean, is that what you call friendship? Tanner?
Sometimes I call it haunting.
I guess then yes, I'm haunting you because we're friends. You're my best friend.
Oh boy, you could have better taste in best friends.
I mean, not all of them can sprout bone axes out of their arms, so I feel like that's pretty cool.
That's true. Of course, and also not all of them have hypnotizing eyes like I do.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not just all bone axes.
And most of them don't have failing PI businesses either. You're just like 3 for 3 right now.
Oh, you really have to rub that in, don't you?
None of my other friends have been caught B&E, doing a B&E with, like, me, so...
You have other friends?
I like to think I do. That's a little rude to think that I don't have other friends.
Well, I mean, you did say I was your best friend. I would have to think if you had, like, multiple failing private detective who nearly beat someone half to death 2 days ago, would be lower on the list, not higher on the list. But, you know, I appreciate it.
Well, you've got the bone axe. The bone axe is a big contender. That's lots of bonus points.
All right.
Also, you got me a hard-boiled egg at 2 a.m, which also bonus points.
I don't know if we're going to get that hard-boiled egg, Runa.
It's the thought that counts. At least that's what people have said. Usually before you punch them for embezzlement.
I don't think I've probably punched someone for embezzlement. Or for catching me, catch them embezzling.
I think that's more of it.
I don't want to catch people embezzling.
Is there anything else you'd like out of this scene, Tanner?
Nope. I think that's good.
Okay.
I think at some point a younger, different waitress comes over and like just puts whatever you ordered in front of you and only you.
Tanner looks at her confused and just slides the hard-boiled egg across the table and just goes, "Never eat the things."
And on that note, with Tanner eating and Runa may or may not eating...
Yeah, does the hard-boiled egg disappear?
I think it does. With that, we will leave Tanner to contemplate his life choices as we find Faye, not once again, but unusually in a courtroom.
Yes. So in a typical working week, Faye is at the law firm office doing research, writing up briefs, maybe talking to clients or interviewing people connected to the court case. But in this particular instance, her brother Art has asked her to come into the courtroom because there's a lot more documents that need managed, and he wants to have somebody that he trusts managing that more behind the scenes and giving him what he needs.
Yeah, and this is a really big case for your firm, so it's imperative that you not only win but look good doing it.
Yeah, it's high profile. It's got very politically important people involved for the town, and
right, and there's a clear good guy and bad guy, so like you are prosecuting the bad guy because you do prosecutions, right?
So that was actually the thing I was gonna ask is are they ones that are they prosecuting criminals, or are they the ones trying to get the criminals off?
I think there's both. They typically take their clients are typically well funded, so sometimes that is people have committed crimes against them, and sometimes that ends up being there is implication that there is wrong on both sides, but they're obviously only pursuing the wrong that was done to their clients. So they're not like a do-gooder law firm.
They very much go to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
So
they're not. So they're not about necessarily justice and truth. They're about our client has hired us.
Yes.
They are.
Okay.
But in this particular case, like they are on the right side. So
we'll say it's a little more clear cut in this case.
Yeah, it's a little bit more clear cut. Public opinion is in a certain way, but you know, that public opinion, if you lose the case and public opinion says this person's innocent, then it looks worse for you guys, you know. Mm-hmm. And though you guys are the biggest law or the most prestigious law firm in the city, Art is all for putting another feather in your cap, and you have to continue to be the best to stay the most prestigious. You know, It's not something you can rest on.
Yeah. So as the case is going, Art gets up and does his opening statement, and starts eventually examining a witness, and he starts going down. Like Faye's has like read all the documents, like knows kind of where this is going, And he starts going down a path that her hunch is that it's not going to yield what they're going to need it to. And so she's going to use her subversion powers to nudge him in a better direction.
Make me a roll and tell me what tags you're using.
I am going to use
Won't take no for an answer.
Men of Power and make people turn on each other with the intent of prompting Art to pursue a line of questioning that will get this person to doubt maybe some things that they were confident in before.
I'm also going to give you good team player because you're actively trying to work with Art.
That's true. That is a 10.
So yeah, the line of questioning Art was doing, it's not abruptly changes, but he does it in a way that, like, it flows very well. Like, oh, he was setting up this other point, actually. Like, there was an obvious point that everyone saw coming, but then he, like, pivots just a little bit and hits this really good point that, like, catches everyone off guard a little bit.
Including the witness.
Yes, especially the witness. And you get a more truthful answer than anyone was really expecting. Mm-hmm. You know, where it's like he just, like, stumbles an answer out, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I just told the truth instead of hid behind something.
That was a little more upfront than they were intending to be. Yeah.
Right. You know, like, and Art takes it all in good stride because, you know, he's the best lawyer in town. You know, like, this is exactly what he meant to do. You know, this was all him.
Yeah, so that all goes well. And I think Faye's father meets them after the day in court and has, like, nothing but amazing things to say to Art for his artful pivot and pursuing that line of questioning, and it just has nothing but good things to say to Art. And it's just like, fine job as always, Faye. You know, that's doing the usual.
I think there's a lot of, like, Camerons and Sons going around, you know, like, he's, like, congratulating Art, but, like...
Are they chanting it in the lobby? Cameron and Sons! Cameron and Sons!
No, but I think it's a lot of just, like... It's, like, he's praising Art for what he did, but it's, like, you know, like, this reflects well on Cameron and Sons, you know, like...
It's like father, like son sort of thing.
Yeah, and, like, it's that thing where it's, like, keeps bringing up the company name and Sons, and, like, in a normal people wouldn't notice, but Faye, it's just, like, a slap in the face literally every time that name is said. Especially after she's the one who won the case or like really sealed the deal on this case, even if it was behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. But after your father leaves and you head back, I think Art does thank you for all the work you did, you know, like, and like have a meaningful, like, hey, like I couldn't have done this without you. I'm glad you were my backup, you know, like, yeah, we would have gotten the conviction either way, but you like made it go really smoothly, you know.
Well, I'm always on your team, Art.
Hey, you're the best lawyer in town.
Tell that to Dad.
I've tried. You know, he gets upset because he says he's the best lawyer in town. You've had these conversations. You don't argue with a lawyer, Faye. So you guys have all had a little bit of alone time. Some time has passed. This is, you know, as things do. And Seamus and Darling are hanging out together. I don't know what you're doing. I forgot to check.
So Seamus and Darling are having their fairly regularly scheduled coffee date.
Yeah, so we frequently get together to have coffee. It's not like on a set schedule, but it's just time for us to catch up, especially like in between missions when we don't see each other as often.
Is Seamus already there?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. When Darling comes up, her and Tanner are walking together, holding hands, and when they get to the coffee shop, she gives him a kiss, and they part ways, and Darling comes in. She sees you and takes a seat. How are you doing today, Seamus?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, too.
Looks like you and Detective Tanner are getting along pretty well. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah, I would say things are going really well right now. I think they both order whatever coffee they usually have.
And Seamus orders a single hard-boiled egg. No, I'm just joking.
So what have you been up to lately, Seamus?
Well, just recently I had to go in for some training for my reserves, just to keep up my skills, and that was fun, but it was pretty brutal, pretty exhausting.
Oh, well, I believe it.
How about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, not much. You know, singing at the Chatterbox. I did get a contract to start doing some recording, so that'll definitely help and start getting me out of the jazz halls, which is nice.
That's awesome. So start seeing some of your music in the stores then.
I guess. I mean, I don't really know how that all works. I just like singing.
So I have something to confess to you, darling.
Oh?
You know how I was concerned about you and Gideon last week? I may have used my dog tags to see what happened. I've never used them tried to use them on another rift before, so it stretched me more than I thought it would, but I saw the fight you had.
Well,
I wanted to apologize for invading your privacy there. I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
I mean,
I hope you can forgive me.
I'm not particularly thrilled that you did that, but I guess it was for a good reason. And she like wags her finger at him. Don't do that again. I'm not entirely sure what else you could see with that.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I don't know either. I'd never done anything like that before, and I don't particularly want to do that again. Exactly. It definitely, like, when I first thought about it, I just was thinking I need to make sure Darling's okay. And once I started seeing the fight, I knew it was an invasion of privacy, and I felt guilty immediately. Like
I said, I can understand why you did it, and I appreciate that you wanted to make sure everything was okay. Like I said, I don't know what else you can see with that, so I don't know if you want to be barging in on everyone else's personal life.
Yeah.
But that said, that is very impressive. Yeah, so you're able to see rift things now with your tags. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I don't know how much it can show me, but previously it's only ever been for like mundane information. Like I can spot a locked drawer, or I can figure out the combination to a safe. I've never used it before to like identify anything magical. I didn't even know that they could really do that.
I have a feeling that's going to be really useful in anything we have coming up. Anytime we're searching for rifts, that's going to be real nice.
The one thing I noticed, though, when I saw your fight is I wasn't seeing you exactly. It was almost like I was seeing a projection of you and a projection of Gideon. It wasn't like I had a camera in the room. It was like I could see your energies. It was weird. I don't really know how to explain it.
Okay. No, that's interesting though. We should test drive that a little bit more and see exactly what you can do with that.
So you see Tanner and Darling walking side by side, holding hands. Tanner gives Darling a kiss, then walks into the coffee shop. Hey, Faye.
The same coffee shop?
No, coffee shop, like literally, like the next one down
across the street. The Starbucks across the street.
But our Tanner has been doing some staking out for a new case and decided to invite Faye along, since this case is apparently not about mind-boilingly affairs.
Yeah, so Tanner, are you in your car somewhere?
I imagine, do you want us to start, where we're going to be staked out?
Yeah, so I was going to say that Faye, walks up to the passenger window and just kind of knocks on it and says, "Is this seat occupied?" But it's joking because you asked her to meet you there.
Oh, well, Tanner hesitates looking at Runa, who is sitting in the front seat next to him. No.
Don't worry, I'll crawl him back. Don't worry, I got this.
No, it's not.
There's a lot of that little kid trying to climb over the back of the seat very poorly
Yeah, right. Faye, you see me flinching to the side as it seems like I'm getting kicked in the face.
Right.
And Tanner reaches over and pushes the door open. Yeah, hop in.
It's getting hit in the face enough where you it feels almost intentional.
Right? Somehow, why do these feet keep hitting me in the eyeball?
Are you all right?
No, just in general, no. But
I agree.
Tanner just like closes his eyes. So, full disclosure, I didn't ask you to come here exactly to help me with a stakeout, but kind of with a stakeout. So check this out. Can you see a 10-year-old girl in the back seat of my car?
Faye slowly turns around and sees an empty back seat, I assume.
Tanner sees Runa wave happily.
No.
Cool.
Do you see a 10-year-old girl in the back seat?
Yeah, just being sure. I think I'm fully losing my mind.
You didn't ask me if I can
right.
see a 10-year-old girl in the back seat.
Runa, there's a time and a place. Anyways,
I freaking love Runa.
ever since I was awoken, alright, I did not handle my awakening particularly gracefully.
You can say that again.
I hurt people.
I don't think any of us did, Tanner. It's alright.
Yeah, I think mine was pretty bad. Case in point, I'm being haunted by a 10-year-old who says that I'm her best friend. She seems to be judgmental of my line of work, and of me punching people.
The whole time you're talking, you see like Tanner out of the corner of his eye sees like Runa miming what he's saying, like adorably, but also kind of annoyingly. you like I spread a bone axe, and you see her sort of like walking, like chopping with an axe.
Tanner turns around and goes, "The adults are talking." Anyways, so
Should I say, is she in your head, or is it like a ghost? Should I be saying hello?
well, I'm gonna level with you. I kind of figured you were the expert on whether or not she is a ghost. So you got any insight on the nature of being haunted by a judgmental 10-year-old?
When did she appear? When you first were awakened?
Well, after I hurt people after I awakened.
I think for Runa, it was for Cody's reference, it was a while after you went on your killing spree.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you killed a bunch of people and then she just appeared. It was
Oh, okay.
you went on your killing spree, and then not long after, but not immediately after, she started showing up a little bit more.
Right.
Tanner, what happened?
Well, alright, so here's what happened. I didn't know, right? So, you wake up in a hospital bed after losing your arm and you start seeing monsters everywhere. It's troubling. So, I thought I would fight the monsters, and the problem was I was good at fighting anything that seemed to be monstrous, which just turned out to be any rift that looked scary. And I was really good at that. So, that was bad. I hurt people that did not deserve it. I'm trying to be better. Hence, joining the Order and trying to be a private detective, although that's not making me feel better either. And then I started getting haunted by Runa.
Did you
By haunted, you mean friendship.
By haunted, I mean friendship, she says.
Thank you.
did you meet Runa in person before she started showing up? Is that what you're saying? Was Runa a rift?
No, no.
Okay. Just making sure you didn't just confess to killing a 10-year-old girl.
No, I did not fly off the handle and kill Runa.
Okay.
Flew off the handle and killed things that were like swamp monsters. It was understandable they were armed. Yeah.
I think you're being a little hard on yourself, but I would agree. I think being part of the Order, we're doing a good thing here.
Yeah, well, that's the trick. Yeah, is like I feel good being in the Order. And I'll say that when I'm doing work on the Order and not watching that guy up in that building probably stealing money or something, at this point, what difference does it make?
While sleeping with the secretary.
Yeah, hopefully not. Well, who knows? Is it better to steal money or sleep with your secretary, Faye?
I don't think you can put one over the other.
Tanner just kind of stares at the floor for a second. Anyways, yeah, I feel good about doing work for the Order, but the problem is I do work other than that. And I don't know how you do work other than that successfully. Like, how do you go from we stopped someone from mind controlling the city to lawyer? Not that there's anything wrong with being a lawyer. It just feels not the same.
Like a downgrade?
I mean, that's what I was thinking, but it feels mean to say, but, yeah.
No, I understand. I think it's probably always hardest, the Monday morning after, right?
You mean after you're like beat up and dragging yourself in? Yeah, I could imagine.
You don't have to cover your bruises with makeup.
No. They make me look roguish, I think.
Is that what Darling tells you?
Yeah, well, and that's going well at least. But, you know.
I guess I think of it as a challenge, a kind of game, maybe. It's a lot of work balancing all of the things we do and all of the people in our lives. And I think it's kind of fun to keep juggling, but only if I don't think about it too long and hard, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, it does. And I guess, like, I gave up on that such a long time ago that it just has become second nature not to. That makes sense. You know, I was, like, fairly married to the job of being a cop, and then now I'm not.
Right. And I've got, it's not all fun. I've got appearances to keep up with my parents and art and now Ewan. I try to make it more of a game and not think of it as a burden. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, I guess I was used to burning those bridges is what I'm saying, and that's quickly becoming, one, not an option, and two, fairly dissatisfactory as I spend more nights at 2 a.m. talking to a 10-year-old girl who is apparently only in my mind.
And your best friend.
And my best friend. Oh, we might have to talk about that, Runa. I think Darling's my best friend, but, you know.
No, you said it. No takesy backsies.
All right.
So, can she hear me?
Runa, can you hear Faye talking?
Is Faye the nice lady in the front seat?
Faye's the lady in the front seat.
The nice one?
Faye is the very nice lady in the front seat, yes.
Is there more than one?
Yes, I can hear her.
All right, well, she says you're a very nice lady.
Okay, well, thank you, Runa. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, I guess.
I guess.
I mean, it's weird that we have, like, are we meeting? I'm talking through you. And you don't relay my words very well. You change them. You add other words.
I'm being told I don't do a good job of relaying her words verbatim back and forth.
Look, you use...
So she is not certain that it qualifies as a formal meeting.
See,
sounds like
that's
she
what
needs
I'm
a
talking
lawyer.
about. You said verbatim. I didn't even say that word. I don't even know what verbatim means.
Sounds like you need a lawyer, Runa.
Apparently, I'm being too verbose. Runa, apparently, I don't need to say that to you, Runa. You can hear her.
Can I do a roll to get some magical sense of what is happening
Sure, go for
with
it.
Runa?
What are you using?
I don't know. That's an excellent question.
Honestly,
Magic.
here's the thing.
Magic powers.
I will say yes, but you have to use stop holding back. Because you've never used your powers in this way before. So
What happens if I stop holding back? Does that just crack something?
I would say it's a significant, which means if on a 7 to 9 you mark fade or crack and burn all the power tags on one of them. On a 10 plus you mark fade or crack.
Oh gosh, and are those power tags going to stay burned through the next arc?
They would stay burned through the next arc until she uses. Like,
I don't think I could do that.
This is something.
Honestly, I think Seamus might be able to get something out of it. So I guess I could say something.
Well, hey, look, I got another idea for my next 2-person scene now.
Right. Sorry, I'm not more help, Tanner. I don't think I can shed any light on how Runa came to be your best friend, but maybe Seamus would.
It was my charming personality and his bone axe.
Her charming personality and the fact that I can sprout a bone axe is why we're best friends. But no, you know what? It feels nice to talk to someone who's trying to balance a life, which I am very quickly having to do and realizing I am bad at.
Well, I feel like it may get messier here in the future, so maybe check back in with me later and see how it's going. Can't promise it'll be this smooth as we go.
Are you doing okay at work? Like, are you about to get fired?
No, it's just I kind of left Ewan hanging at the Kinley Ball. You know, I was with somebody and then turned into a bartender and ducked into the crowd and left. Didn't say goodbye or anything. And as much as it pains me to say it, I kind of like him. So I don't really want to screw that up just because I ran out.
Faye, I have solid advice for you, all right? Pretense is cowardice. Be direct. If you like what's-his-name, just go tell what's-his-name that you like him, all right?
Yeah. I intend to. I don't really intend to tell him I'm a sorceress.
Go tell what's-his-name you're a sorceress.
Runa says you should lead with a sorceress. I think you should lead with poetry. That is always the best move.
Oh, gross. Poems are gross. Do the sorceress thing. That's cool. Can she make fire in her hands? Can she...
No, Runa, she can't make fire in her hands.
Can she make a flower for my hair?
Actually, that maybe she could turn into a flower and then be put in your hair.
That seems weird. I just want a flower. I don't want her to be a flower. I want to have a flower.
Can I shapeshift like an old newspaper in the back of your car into a flower?
Can you?
No.
No, I can't do that. Never mind.
You can't. You have the limitation of you can only shapeshift yourself.
Yeah.
You have not upgraded yourself or tried to stop holding back to shapeshift other objects or people.
Stop holding back on this. The request of an imaginary 10-year-old.
Now's the time.
Not figuring out who the 10-year-old is.
Right.
But making her a flower.
Right. Well, I definitely intend to be direct where I can. I can't promise everything, but we'll see how that goes.
I'm just saying, I think the magic thing would make her your best friends. Like, it's why I'm best friends with you, Tanner. As we fade out.
I love Runa so much. Favorite NPC.
Thank you. I feel good about Runa. Wrapping up, Faye, you wanted to deal with some personal issues about how you bailed on someone at a dance.
Right. So I think, like, not too many days after the ball, Faye called you and apologized, just like really briefly, and he kind of seemed to like shut down is not quite the right word, but he just kind of brushed off. I was like, okay, sure, like it's you don't like me, that's fine.
Right.
Like,
it was that
not
thing
saying that, but that sort of vibe. So I think
it was like I don't need a pity call kind of thing where it's like you didn't have a good time, that's fine. I thought we were having a good time, but like it's whatever, like I wasn't looking for love that night, so it was like it was a little rude to just run off without saying so, but fine.
Yeah. So I think a few days to a week after that, she stops by his doctor's office to see if during lunch, to see if he'll step out.
Excuse me, ma'am, do you have an appointment to see Dr. Hughes?
I don't. Is he here?
I mean, I'm not allowed to say that. Dr. Hughes is a very busy man. You need to make an appointment.
It's just a personal lunch call. I'm not here for a doctor's appointment.
That seems highly unprofessional for him to bring a lady friend here during lunch. And you hear from the back, just, Janice, just whoever it is, send them in. It's okay. So she's like, fine, Dr. Hughes, you are the boss, but she kind of looks like a hussy.
She like stage whisper this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I'm assuming Faye is in like typical lawyer garb, so Faye does not look anything like that.
She looks very professional.
Right.
So Faye steps back into the office.
Faye, I wasn't expecting you. I was expecting... I don't know who I was expecting, especially when Janice said hussy. I was a little confused, but,
Do you want to go to lunch? I know it's unannounced, but I feel like I have some apologizing to do.
I mean, Faye, we talked about this on the phone. I don't need your pity. It's fine that you didn't have a good time. Next time you don't have a good time with a gentleman at an evening, just say goodbye and then leave, maybe. But
I don't want to say that because it would be untrue. I had a really good time and I didn't expect to, and someone just told me that I should have fewer pretenses in my life, and I like you, and so I want to keep seeing you.
Well, I had a good evening as well, but you have to make me one promise, Faye.
What's that?
You have to promise not to run off before lunch is over.
I can do that.
Hey Wanderers! We hope you enjoyed this episode of Naptown Chronicles. If you want to hear more content from the Wandering Gamer Network, you can check out the Wandering Gamer Network website. We also post Let's Plays that we do on YouTube under the channel Wandering Gamer Network. On Twitch, we can be found at wandering_gamer_network, and you can follow us on Twitter at the WGN Podcast. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. The intro and outro music was composed by Caitlin Balgaman, who voices Faye in this podcast. All other music is openly licensed or in the public domain. Now, sleeper, it is time to rest. And remember, it is the gods who envy us.